For millions of us, A Wrinkle in Time is just one of those books from childhood that really sticks with you. But what if I told you that behind the story of space travel and saving the world, there's a much deeper, really surprising story about faith, physics, and a personal crisis that pretty much changed children's literature forever? So here's the thing that's always fascinated me about this book. On one hand, it's a huge success, right? It won the Newbery Medal, sold over 10 million copies. It's an absolute classic. But on the other hand, it is constantly one of the most banned and challenged books in the country, and it gets attacked from all sides, from the religious right to the secular left. So how on earth can one book be both so beloved and so controversial at the same time? Well, to really get to the bottom of that, we have to look beyond the pages of the novel itself and dive into the mind of its author, Madeleine L'Engle. Because, as you're about to see, the story of this book is really her story. So, where did this incredible universe actually come from? Well, it wasn't just some flight of fancy. It was born out of a really intense period of personal and spiritual struggle for L'Engle. Okay, so picture this. It's the late 1950s, she's about to turn 40, and she is in a deep crisis. Her writing career is going nowhere, just rejection after rejection, and she's seriously questioning the very foundations of her own faith. The old, traditional answers just weren't cutting it for her anymore. And you gotta love her sense of humor about it. When her minister suggested she read some really dense German theology to help with her questions, she shot back that the books were, quote, very useful for one thing: insomnia. She was clearly looking for something more, something that felt real to her. And she found what she was looking for in a place you might never expect: modern physics. Seriously. She just dove headfirst into the mind-bending ideas of guys like Einstein and Heisenberg, quantum mechanics, relativity, the whole shebang. But for her, this wasn't about rejecting faith. Not at all. It was about discovering a whole new, more exciting language to understand it. And this was a huge aha moment for her. L'Engle realized that the sense of awe and wonder she got from this new physics felt, more spiritually real than anything she was hearing in church. So she started using the concepts of science to build a totally new way of thinking about her beliefs. And the most famous example of this, of course, is the Tesseract. In the book, it's a wrinkle in space-time that lets you travel instantly across galaxies. L'Engle actually borrowed the name from mathematics. A tesseract is a real concept. It's a four-dimensional cube. And she used this idea to create something that's almost like magic, a bridge connecting our physical world to this much bigger metaphysical battle between good and evil. This is so cool. This table is basically the Rosetta Stone for the entire novel. You can see these direct lines, right? Her personal crisis of faith, that becomes the cosmic battle between light and darkness. Her obsession with quantum physics, that's where the Tesseract comes from. All those feelings of self-doubt and impatience she had, she poured all of that right into her hero, Meg Murry. And her progressive, universalist idea of God, well, that inspired the book's incredible coalition of goodness. And just look at this coalition. When the kids ask who the greatest fighters against the darkness are, the list they get is amazing. It's not just Jesus, it's artists like Da Vinci and Shakespeare, scientists like Einstein, and spiritual leaders like Gandhi and Buddha. This was L'Engle's really radical idea, that goodness isn't owned by any one religion. It's found in great acts of science and art and human compassion. Now here's where the story takes a crazy turn. In this weird twist of fate, the book's own struggle to get published ended up perfectly mirroring its central theme: the fight against a world that demands everyone be exactly the same. Get this. L'Engle faced an absolute wall of rejection. We know for a fact the manuscript was turned down by at least 26 different publishers. Some people say it was actually closer to 40. The publishing world just had no idea what to make of this thing. And the reasons they gave are just fascinating when you look back. They said it was confusing. Is it for kids or adults? Is it sci-fi, fantasy, a religious book? They thought having a girl as the hero of a science fiction story was just weird and unmarketable. And they were convinced that the complex ideas about science and evil were way too hard for children to handle. And this is where it all just clicks. The irony is just amazing. You've got the evil planet in the book, Camazotz, which is all about enforced sameness and crushing any kind of individuality. And then you've got the real-world publishing industry of the 1960s demanding rigid conformity to genres and rejecting her book precisely because it was too different. It's like life was imitating art before the art was even published. So, all of this brings us right to the heart of the book, this central message about the power of being different. And that idea is perfectly captured in its unforgettable hero, Meg Murry. Now, Meg is not your typical hero, not even close. She's awkward, she has glasses and braces, she's terrible at school, she's stubborn, she's quick to anger, and she is just full of self-doubt. In fact, Langle herself would always say, "I am Meg." So let's just list them out, right? These are all the things that everyone, including Meg herself, sees as her problems. Her stubbornness, her impatience, her anger, these are the things she believes she needs to fix about herself to fit in. And this all builds to this one huge, profound realization for Meg, captured in this amazing line. On that planet Camazotz, where every single person is forced to be identical, she finally understands. Like and equal are not the same thing at all. It's the novel's ultimate defense of just being yourself. And here it is, the book's most powerful, most radical message. In the final showdown, it's Meg's so-called faults that end up saving the entire universe. Her stubbornness? That's the very thing that helps her resist the mind control of the main villain, IT. And her capacity for fierce, passionate love, which is totally tangled up with her passionate anger, that turns out to be the only weapon powerful enough to defeat pure evil and save her brother. So when you boil it all down, the real power of this book, the reason it's stuck around for so long, is this one incredible idea that our flaws, the things that make us different, aren't actually weaknesses we need to get rid of. They're the very source of our unique strengths. Which kind of leaves though with a big question, right? What if that isn't just true for Meg Murry? What if that's true for all of us?